My next meal is my famous Eat Like Ruby bowl. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I literally just eat it like this.
Guys, can I have the food? Just $6.
Thank you. He is snoring in the background. So if you can hear that, that is what that is. Very good session. I am stoked with that. I can absolutely feel the difference being on 2200 cals and having one of these. So let's hit the gym. Actually, let's hit the drive-thru coffee shop before the gym. So this is tea for myself and for Shaq. Oh, fresh jar of Nutella. Hello and welcome to my Eat Like Ruby YouTube channel. I am so excited to be doing this. I have literally wanted to do a YouTube channel for so long, and when we decided to put the podcast on YouTube, I figured this is the perfect time to do this as well, because I don't want the YouTube channel to just be podcast episodes. So I'm gonna alternate between podcast and then filmed videos like this, and I figured what better video to start with than a full day of eating, and more importantly, why I eat what I eat in a full day. I post this on Insta all the time, obviously. If you don't follow me on Insta, eat_like_Ruby. But I really wanted to use the video to get into a little bit more detail about why I eat what I eat in a day. So I am gonna take you through my full day of eating and explain a little bit more about why I eat what I eat. The first thing I have every single morning is 1 scoop of Destiny with about 600 mils of water. I have this purely for the caffeine. I will have a coffee later in the day, you guys will see that, but I don't like to have multiple coffees throughout the day. That's just not my style. So I have this first thing, and then I'll take Nutella for a walk and then come home and have my first main meal from there. So my first main meal is a veggie omelet. I like to have this meal first and early because this is such a great source of obviously veggies, which is fiber and dietary fat as well. I have 2 eggs, I have feta, I have butter. So this ticks off a big chunk of my dietary fat and fiber for the day, but I don't like to have those 2 things close to my training session. Those are our like slower digesting nutrients. So if I had a meal like this and then went straight into training, you find that you can be like a bit sluggish, a few digestive issues. It's just not the most optimal fuel source to go into a training session. So the reason I have this first is because I'm not going to train for about 4 hours now. So I have this now, it'll be super filling, tick a bunch of boxes of the foods that I like to eat for the day, but be digested and sitting comfortably as I get closer to that training session. And then I'll show you guys what I eat to optimize my performance in training. This meal is about, I don't even know, 300 or 400 calories. I'll pop it on the screen. At the moment, I'm eating about 2,200 calories a day. My goal with that, or my reasoning for that, is purely to like optimize performance, train well, eat well. I am not working towards like fat loss or muscle gain or anything. There's no body comp goal. It's purely about, like I said, having the right fuel and feeling good for training, and eating tons of food, which you're gonna see as we go throughout the day. I definitely do. I am getting ready for training now. So I am having 2 wholemeal crumpets with jam. And then, like I said, I will get coffee on the way to gym as well. The combo of this whole pre-training meal is about 500 calories. I personally love loading up on food before training. I love eating a massive pre-training meal. It is super high in carbs. There is 93 grams of carbs in this meal. And then, like I said before, it is quite low in fiber, quite low in fat, which just makes it a lot quicker digesting. We call them simple carbs. A lot of people think that these are things we should avoid, but they're actually a really optimal pre-training source. So I love to load up on simple carbs before I train. So I start with these crumpets, and this will be about an hour, maybe 45 minutes before I actually start training, because by the time I eat this, get my shit together, I will get a coffee on the way to gym, and then I will get stuck into it. I also drink Staminade while I am training, so I literally just get this from like Woolies or Coles, and have this purely for the electrolytes, sodium, all of that, and the carbs as well. So I will just drink that while I'm training, again in like about 600 mils of water. So I have 20 grams of this, and I will also then have a protein shake and a banana after training. So I just drink whey protein, and I go about 30 grams of this. So with any meal where I am having protein, I will aim to get over 20 grams of protein per serving or per meal. And I aim to do that about 4 or 5 times a day. So we'll go 30, just over 30 grams of that. So we'll have that post-training as well as a banana. And then if we look at everything that I'm having, like pre-training, during training, post-training, there's obviously a big focus on this, but that's kind of the point. Like I said before, I'm not working towards like fat loss or any sort of body comp goal. I really want my nutrition to be optimized towards my training. So heaps of carbs, heaps of energy going into training, more carbs and more energy during training, and then a good hit of protein and carbs again straight after training. And the combo of all of those things is about 800 calories. And if we look at, like I said before, my day is about 2200. It's like over a third of my day just in that training window. And that is honestly so important to me. Like today I'm gonna train legs, depending on how busy the gym is. I'll see if I film any of it, but that is like a big, heavy, hard session to me. It'll be like hip thrusts, bridges, deadlifts, leg curls, leg extensions, all of that. The last thing I want to do is go into that session hungry, underfed, cranky, moody, no energy, all of those things that come with a low calorie diet. So it's super important to me to load up going into that, and then obviously, like I said, to be able to perform really well in that session and then go straight into the recovery from there. I like to train legs as hard as I can. It's like one of the highlights of my week. And I want to make sure that there's plenty of food coming in for the session, but also plenty of food coming in after the session so I can get that recovery and actually make the most of it. So let's hit the gym. Actually, let's hit the drive-through coffee shop before the gym.
Yep, you.
Can I please have a large skinny mocha?
Yeah, of course. Was that all?
Yes, thank you.
Guys, drive them through just $6.
Thank you. So I have just pulled up at gym. As you would have seen, I got my skinny mocha. I like to get a skinny mocha. Like I said before, I don't like to have high fat and high fiber as I go into training. So I actually get a full cream mocha on my rest days. I love full cream mochas, they are my favorite, but getting that full cream milk obviously contributes to a higher fat intake, which is totally fine. Like I said, I get them half the time, but if I'm getting it going into training, then I will get a skinny mocha, because then it's predominantly carbs, a little bit of protein, but obviously there's no fiber in a mocha, and then going skinny over full cream makes it a lot less fat as well. So it just helps with that digestion piece before going into a session. I am sitting in the gym car park, kind of in this dodgy drug dealer lighting. So I will have this now, go in and train legs. I'm not gonna film because I want today's video to just predominantly be about food. I'll do a workout video really soon. So I'm gonna have this now, drink my Staminade while I train, and then I will touch back in post-training with my protein shake and banana. I have just finished training legs. It was very heavy, very hard, a very good session. I am stoked with that. A lot of PBs, and I just know for sure that I would not be able to train at that level and train as well if I was constantly on low calories. I can absolutely feel the difference being on 2200 calories, which isn't even that high when we think about it, but compared to like a super low cal fat loss phase, this intake feels awesome, and I'm training so well on it, which is wicked. Sometimes I'll go home and have a meal, like I won't have something straight away in the car or straight after gym, but I also like to make sure I'm getting protein in regularly throughout the day. And if we think about everything I've had today, the main sources of protein were really just with breakfast, which was at like 8 a.m. and now it's like 1 o'clock. So I haven't had much protein for a while, which is why I will just smash down a shake really quickly to top up my protein intake for the day before I have some higher protein meals later on. Banana as well, because it's just easy carbs to get in, filling, bit of energy after training, another serve of fruit for the day. Like, it just ticks so many boxes. So I'm gonna have these, I'm gonna drive home, see what Nutella's up to. Nutella the dog, not Nutella the food, but I'm sure we will have some Nutella food very soon as well. So I will check back in when I do so. My next meal is my famous Eat Like Ruby bowl. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So it is yogurt, fruit, cereal, Nutella. Speaking of Nutella, he is snoring in the background. So if you can hear that, that is what that is. But I am gonna make this right now. So I go fresh strawberries because I just personally love fresh strawberries way more than frozen. But either way is totally fine. I'm gonna go Chobani mango. Personally, I love Chobani way more than YoPro, just in terms of the taste. Sometimes I go YoPro if I am doing like low calories or it just works better for my day. But if I can go Chobani, I always will, because I just prefer it. For my cereal, I think it's Uncle Toby's. They're like iron clusters. I just put them in this jar, so I don't have the box for that. But I just do a big serve of that on the side, and then obviously Nutella. Oh, fresh jar of Nutella. So people always ask me if I put milk in this, which I do not. I don't know why everybody asks that, but I literally just eat it like this. I hope you can see. It's super crunchy. I feel like milk would make it kind of runny and weird. I don't know, I guess you could do that if you wanted to. So like I said, if you follow me on Insta, you will know that I literally eat this like every day. Sometimes in the morning for brekkie, or sometimes in the arvo for a snack like I am right now. I just love this meal because it tastes so good, but it also ticks so many boxes of the things that I aim to include every day. So when I plan my own days of eating and when I write meal plans, I aim to include a certain amount of protein, fiber, and dietary fat, and then a certain amount of servings of whole grains, fruit, veggies, and calcium / dairy. So this literally has a serve of fruit, has a serve of whole grains, has a serve of calcium, big chunk of fiber, big chunk of protein. Obviously, we all know I love Nutella. So it ticks so many boxes of good health and helping contribute towards a good day of eating, but it's also delicious. I look forward to it. I feel like a lot of people look at meals like this and they would think that they shouldn't have the Nutella, or they shouldn't have cereal, or whatever it is that you think you shouldn't have, and kind of scale it back to be a little bit more low calorie, a little bit more boring, a little bit less appealing. And often what I see when people do things like that is they will then be quite snacky afterwards, or they'll go for something more afterwards because it's not physically satisfying enough and it's not mentally and emotionally satisfying enough. You're actually hungry and wanting something more, and in your mind it wasn't that great, so you're kind of like, what else can I have? Whereas if we actually aim to make it a meal that we would genuinely enjoy, physically satisfying and super enjoyable, we tend to tick all those boxes and then not need to go on the hunt for something else straight afterwards. So that is why I'm a big fan of meals like this that are such a good combo of the things we want to include in our day for health and good nutrition, but then also we actually look forward to it, we love it, we feel like it's super satisfying and it's enough for a while. Like, this will be my afternoon snack, and then the next thing I'll have is tea, and it is filling and it's super good, and I won't even really think about anything until tea, which I will bring you along for soon. Now I am just whipping up dinner for Shaq and I. This is a super common dinner that we have all the time. So we literally just go like a bunch of spud lights in the air fryer, which is probably what you can hear in the background. We then just get like these pre-marinated meats from either Coles or Woolies, literally all different meats like beef, chicken, lamb, pork, whatever they have, whatever we feel like. And we just mix it up with the flavors and the types and everything. And then we do the same thing with the salad bags as well. So we go with the meat obviously for a good serve of protein. Most of these will have anywhere from like a little bit under 200 calories to a little bit over, and normally anywhere from like 20 to up into the 30s. 4 grams of protein, which is perfect. That's exactly what I look for, is a serve of protein over 20 grams. So these always tick that off, which is awesome. This one is beef steaks with pepper, so that's cool. And then a Mexican style salad. Again, we just grab whatever ones we feel like, whatever ones they've got. These have 4 serves, but we just split it in half every night, so we have 2 serves each, I guess. But it's just a big serve of salad and veggies, which is obviously cool. And then, like I said, a bunch of Spud Lights in the air fryer as well. So this is tea for myself and for Shaq. Obviously it looks massive, and it kind of is, but that is the point. Like I said, I am loving eating more food, bigger meals, and this meal is actually only about 500 calories only. But it looks a lot bigger, but that's why I love it, and that's why I love putting these sort of meals into meal plans and into my own days, because it's so big, it's so filling, it ticks so many of those boxes we talked about before. But for 500 calories, like, there are a lot of meals out there that are 500 calories that wouldn't be as filling, they wouldn't tick all of those boxes. It just wouldn't be as good of a quality 500 calories as this. So we love having this. We have this all the time, super filling. And then I will have dessert just after this a little while later, because this fills me right up. My final food for the day is dessert. I am having one of these Bulla ice creams, chalk hazelnut spread. These are really good. I just started having these this week, but I love them. They are great. Depending on what else I've had for the day, how my day is looking, will depend on what I have for dessert. So sometimes if I've got a lot of calories left, I'll have something bigger like a maxi bon. Sometimes if I haven't had much protein, I will have one of those protein custards up there. It just depends what I've had for the day, but I will always have some form of dessert, just depending on whatever fits in best with the rest of my day. So that is all of my food for the whole day. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Obviously, I am going to be back with plenty more foodie videos over the coming weeks.